Well, hello everyone. I am here for a short video. I'm just going to be talking about how I set up my little travel journals that I take with me. I noticed that the previous travel journal with sketches and everything got a lot of views, so I want to go over how I do my journals now since it's a little bit different than how I used to do it. The first major change is I no longer use the toned sketchbooks. That's simply because, well, it's actually because of a couple reasons. First of all, they're very expensive. Second of all, they're very heavy, and I'm trying to cut back on my carry-on. And also, the third thing is because of, even though I love the toned paper and I love working with it, and I still use it in some other aspects of art, when I'm doing watercolor illustrations or colored pencil illustrations, when I'm traveling and sketching, it just doesn't work as well, and it also isn't great for scanning and then using in scrapbooks and other things later. I buy these. They come in a 2-pack, I think for like $3 at Michael's. So they're really cheap, but they've got decently thick paper. It can handle pens. There's no bleeding through on the other side. It's a pretty decent journal, especially for how cheap it is. They're obviously not that thick because of how cheap they are, but they usually last me one trip. So one trip is usually good for, a 3 to 4 week trip is good for one journal. So when I first started doing them, I didn't do a cover page, but recently I started doing these cover pages and I really like them. I just do the name of the trip on the front and then things that I'm most looking forward to. So for this trip coming up, I'm going to, actually by the time you see this video, I will be in Austin, Texas already. And then I'm going on to Mexico after that. I wrote down some of the things that I'm really excited to do while I'm in Mexico. So this page is kind of a fun page for me because, first of all, I don't plan that much, but I do have a rough idea of where I'm going and what I'm doing when I go on a trip. But it never seems to go according to plan. Either flights get canceled or delayed, or hotel doesn't work out, or I decide to stay somewhere else, or I decide to go somewhere else based on recommendations. I actually keep my schedule free now because of how many past experiences I've had where plans do not go according to plan. So now I have a rough, loose plan, and then I write down what actually happened every single day, and that way I have a 1-sentence or 2-sentence entry that can go in my journal back home when I keep a 1 sentence a day for 5-year journal, which I can go make another video about that if anybody is interested. Let me know in the comments below. But for this, it just makes it so much easier if I write down what actually happened every single day on one page. So the plan and then what actually happens. Important notes is where I write down any flight reference numbers, any hotel reference numbers, car rental reference numbers. Those kind of things are really important to me, and very easy and nice to have them all on one page. It's also good because even though I do keep a lot of copies of the paperwork, if that gets lost or misplaced, this is usually in my regular backpack, and so it goes with me everywhere, and if I don't have those papers with me, then I can have this. So, important notes. Next is spending. Now I know a lot of people do this digitally even while on the road, but typically I'm traveling to places where I don't have cell phone data, I can't reach the spreadsheets that I keep in Google Drive, so I like to write everything down. I write the date, the place, the type of what it is, whether it's food, accommodation, the type of the expense, basically. Also souvenirs, things like that. And then the amount. And this allows me to go back later when I'm home and then make sure everything is in my spreadsheets, and again, when you're doing accounting work, that everything matches up with your bank statements when you get home. Also, it's good to keep track of the local dollar amount, and then when you get home you can see the US dollar amount and you have all your receipts and everything. Alright, now the last page that I'm going to show you, because the rest is going to be done while I'm on the road, is how I basically start my journal. I start obviously with the day one. I do count my first travel day as day one, and sometimes I count even the day before because I do a lot of prep work the day before I leave, and so I'll write a journal entry the day before I leave. Especially if I'm leaving at like a 5 a.m. flight, I know I'm not going to want to write the next day, so I'll write the day before I leave. But for this one, my flight is not until 8 p.m. and I'm actually going to get to the airport really early, so I'm going to have plenty of time to fill this in tomorrow night because I leave tomorrow. So I do usually put the flight and the hotel, like if I'm flying, I put the flight. If I'm driving or taking a train, I put that, like basically the transportation, and then the accommodations for that night. And then I write a journal entry and I add in sketches. So really simple setup. And then I'm going to come back after this trip is over, so sometime either late February or early March, and do a flip through so you can go ahead and see what the finished journal looks like. I also have, in case you didn't see it, I have travel headers and icons, which are all different travel themed designs for headers and icons for bullet journals. I'll link that right here and in the description box below. I will be trying to post updates while on the road. I'm going to try a little bit of daily vlogging. I might be doing a 30-day video challenge if I get accepted into the collab opportunity with a few other YouTubers. So all of these things may be coming in the future, so be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, live, love, and travel on. Bye!